Hi, my name is Chuckie Thomas, and I'm a screenwriter, an author, a producer, and a Goonie, and I am the ADHD screenwriter. And in this video, I'm going to talk about every ADHDer's worst enemy, rejection. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Again, I am the ADHD screenwriter, and I'm here to give you some great tips on rejection. I'll be honest, I scripted this one to be a much later video, but guess what? I've been dealing with a lot of rejection, and I want to talk about it. But before we get started, of course, you got to do the smash the bell, subscribe, make sure you comment down below. If you're dealing with rejection, I want to know about it. Let's commiserate down in the comments. All right, that's enough of that. Let's get started. Let's face it. Right up top, nobody likes rejection. Nobody likes to be rejected. If you have ADHD, you have a bunch of stuff like me, or you have nothing at all, nobody enjoys being rejected. It's not fun. However, people with ADHD, we really don't like being rejected. It's part of it's just a symptom of ADHD that we feel things way deeper. I've tried to explain this to other writers and maybe professors and said, every rejection just feels so personal. And they said, you'll get over it. Guess what? I didn't. So I've got some tips here. My first one here is to pitch a bunch of people at once. Okay, so you know that old magic trick, that bed of nails? When the magician would lay on the bed of nails and they'd spread out the agony across their body, so it lets them do that. You try and lay on one nail, that doesn't work. That really hurts. A bunch of nails, you can lay on it because the agony is spread throughout your body. It's the same thing with pitching. I remember when I was starting about 20 years ago, a lot of the notes on the website for the agents and stuff would say, only pitch one at a time. Please don't pitch multiple people. And back then I said, oh, sure, I'll wait 6 months for this person to get back with me. Now, I'm not waiting. Right now I'm pitching a new book. It's called The Corpse Watcher. And I've pitched about 60 people at once. And what I'm going to do is when an agent inevitably picks me up, I get to email all those other agents and said, guess what? You lost out. That means I get to reject them, and boy, will that be fun. But if you just sit around and you wait for 3, 4, 5 months for one agent or whoever to get back with you, you're going to be pitching this project for the rest of your life. Just send it out, and when you get one rejection, you go, you know what? I still have 50 more. Who cares? It should help. Okay, so tip number 2 is going to sound like I am directly contradicting tip number 1, but hear me out. Don't send your project out to too many people. And what I mean by this is do your research. For example, I mentioned my horror novel, The Corpse Watcher, hopefully coming to you soon. I've sent it out directly to agents who are looking for horror. I would not send this out to someone who's looking for, say, a romantic comedy or like a heavy drama. They don't care, and I'm just adding to my agony. I know I mentioned the whole spreading out the pain thing, the magician, whatever. It still sucks every time you get a rejection. You don't want to add extra ones to it for no reason. You're already going to get a bunch for whatever it is, your movie, your book, something. Don't add to it for no reason, right? Do your research. You did your research when you were writing. So, you looked into outer space. You didn't know anything about outer space. So you said, I'm going to do my research. Do your research on who you're sending it out to, and you will hopefully find better results. And I know you're thinking, my project's very weird. I don't know who to send it out to. Nobody's going to like this. That is not true. Weird stuff gets made all the time. So do your research and find somebody who wants it. So this tip might be a little tough to hear. Have you ever gotten some feedback that really fried your brain and it just made you think, this person is so stupid, I don't understand how they're breathing, much less giving me feedback? I'll tell you, I've been there, and some friends of mine have some stories about me. The thing is that I've had to learn, and that you're going to have to learn, that sometimes they're right. And that isn't great to hear, right? You don't want to hear that. They're not right. You're a genius. I'm a genius. I get it. Sometimes they're right. I've gone back and looked at the project weeks later after my anger went from like 100 down to like a 50. And I looked at what I wrote and went, uh-oh, I owe someone an apology. It's something you just have to get used to, I think. You have to kind of squash that part of you down that wants to lash out. And you got to write everything down. Write down the notes, maybe if they're verbal or someone handed it to you. Take some time, relax, come back to it, and look at it again. One thing you should absolutely never do is lash out in anger. Maybe it's from a film festival. You get an email that says, "We don't want your film." Do not email the film festival and say, "You guys are stinkers," or whatever you say, insults. Don't do that, because I can guarantee you, and I know this from evidence from talking to film festival directors, they all talk to each other. So you tell one person they're a stinker, they're all going to know that you sent that email or made a phone call or whatever. Tamp it down and look at the feedback later. Sometimes these people have a point and you're just going to have to deal with it. All right, so let's set the scene. You've gotten your 50th rejection on your film. You're sitting in your living room or at your desk. Maybe your head's on the desk because you're just so despondent that you can't even barely lift your head up to look at rejection number 51. And you're thinking, why did I even try to do this? This is a waste of my time. Everything sucks. The world hates me. Everybody hates me. Why did I even try? The point is, you did try. Guess what? Over 20 years of me being a writer, still get tons of rejections, and I'm, again, going through it right now. It's not fun, but you tried. I'm trying. I'm putting myself out there, and it's very hard. And if you're getting rejections, you put yourself out there. The amount of people I've talked to over the years that have told me, "Oh, I could never do that. I would love to be a writer or whatever, filmmaker, painter, musician." But they tell me, "I could never do that." They never try. There's a tiny inkling in them that thinks, "I could do that. It would be fun to be a musician or writer or whatever," but they don't try. You're getting rejections because you did try. You should give yourself a treat. That's my tip. Give yourself a treat. If it's a pat on the back, go buy yourself some ice cream, maybe some non-dairy ice cream like me. I can't eat ice cream. That sucks, but whatever. Whatever it is that you like to give yourself a treat, treat yourself like in Parks and Rec. It's important. You're putting yourself out there. You're getting rejected, but you're trying. Most people do not try. I'm telling you, you're ahead of everybody else that never picked up a pencil or looked at a blank page and went, I'm gonna power through and start writing some stuff. You're way ahead of all those people. Do not be so hard on yourself. Try not to take it too personally. I know that's ridiculous to say because it feels personal, but what you should take personally is you are trying, and that is better than everybody else. Tip number 5 here might just be me talking to myself. Sometimes it can be very difficult to keep perspective. So let's say you're on like your 4th script and you think you're pretty good. Your first few scripts were hot garbage like mine were, like everybody's are. And you think, number 4, this is a really good one. I've poured my heart and soul into it. I'm going to put it out there, and it's just boom, 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 nothing. Everybody's saying, no, thank you. Do number 5 or number 6 or whatever. It's hard to keep perspective at that point because you look back and you think, I haven't accomplished anything. Nothing I've done has worked. Nobody seems to like anything. What am I doing wrong? But then you think, there was script number 3 that it didn't turn into a feature film, but we got a kind of a cool little short, and it got into a festival. So that was fun. And then I had a really great read through for script number 4 with some really great actors in town. And they all said, I would love to work on this someday or something because I believe in you. It's very easy to forget that stuff. I do this all the time. There's a list of stuff that I want to accomplish that I haven't gotten anywhere near accomplishing yet. But when I look back, and especially when I'm talking to somebody else and they say, oh, what have you done? And like I show them my IMDb or something, and they go, whoa, look at all this stuff. How did you accomplish all this, It's 20 years of work that I'm just kind of forgetting just in the moment that I'm getting rejection. So keep some perspective. Look back and count your wins. Again, it's very tough to do because you're focused on, this one thing is not working. Pat yourself again on the back a little bit because you're putting yourself out there and it's very hard to do. Count your wins. You can't always focus on the losses because it's going to drive you crazy. Make sure to appreciate those dubs once in a while. So that's it. Those are 5 tips to help you deal with the worst thing in the world, rejection. Don't take it too personally. You'll get through it. I believe in you. Make sure to like and subscribe. Please come back for more episodes. We have a ton of great stuff, more tips to help you with your career. Please comment below and share your rejection stories. Let's all wallow in misery together. Help boost each other up and say, you can do it. We can work together and do it. And as always, if you have ADHD and you're using this video to disassociate and not write, why don't you come back after you write some and watch some more videos. See you next time.
Okay.
Nice. Episode 7, tip 1, take 1. Off to a good start. All right. Tip number 1. Oh, what is it? Maybe I shouldn't do that actually.